take us 50 years, you know, even if it will take us 50 years to revolt against this regime, so that it can be, you know, a lesson to any other regime that will ever take power. May it be so that even if the next 10 million years, this nation will never be the same again. These people are taking advantage, as you've heard my sister, I don't know whether she was Mwendwa, has put it clearly where the corruption starts from. It means it's just the same as World Bank and IMF has held this regime by balls. Every time they try to do anything, they squeeze the balls and they refrain from it. That's why you see on the very day of voting for the finance bill, we had observers from external powers, foreigners, wazungu, walikuwa kule juu ya dais, wamekaa kwa parliament, wakiobserve the voting. And I was, wait, when did we become a colonial territory again in 2024? Wazungu walikuwa wameketi huko juu kabisa, wanatazama moja kwa moja vile mambo yanaenda. Sasa hapa tukuja kuambiwa ati kuja kuambiwa kila mtu alipewa shilingi 2 milioni. Jamani, 2 milioni kwa watu wote inamaanisha ni elfu ngapi? 1410 hivi. Sasa wasomi kama Okia Omtata hawa tushughulikie na mambo ya kisheria. My brother Okia Omtata is the one who said CAS is unconstitutional. He went to petition. He said this Mudavadi office is unconstitutional. He went to petition. House everything is unconstitutional. We were just watching until today kinaturamba sawa sawa. Na nashukuru sana kwa sababu gani? Saba Saba iliyopita mwaka jana, hawa walimwacha baba ingie town, na hapo ndio nawakumbusha Gen Z wakaona, oh, kwa hivyo tunaweza ingia tao, mara hiyo sisi yao. And I remember the volcano of masses from Thika, the volcano from Mulolongo, the volcano from Waiyaki Way, and here we are. Ruto should be used as an example to any other person who might be thinking of to the extent that he's bringing an army on civilians. Army is not trained in combat with civilians, but with external enemies. So when you bring these fellas, by the way, they are humans in animals. So when you bring jackals and wolves to guard animals, people, what do we expect? Our kids are going to be sodomized. Our girls are going to be raped. These people don't know mercy. They deal with bad people like Al-Shabaab, like Boko Haram. Sasa hapa hivi ukileta hapa makangu na mletea jeshi, kofi moja itamweka chini. It is time we back up people like Okia Omtata, that you, sir, go ahead. Tell Duale it is unconstitutional to put the army against civilians. Sahi hapa nasikia wanasema nini, watu wa Haiti wanataka more police. Now we have become a merchandiser of police. Why are we giving more? The other news that we saw, the police that were taken here, we saw them guarding the United States Embassy in Haiti. So what does that tell you? It tells you that Ruto owes Biden. Ruto owes the US people money. And that's why they are protecting their interests. Instead of bringing peace to those people of Haiti, it is protecting the interests of those people who are bringing war there. Where are they getting the guns from? Where are they getting the protection from? Why aren't they being asked questions like those ones? It is because they have to do, like, I've had something very sensitive from Sir Okia Omtata. He said that tuna is being controlled by external. Like 10 trillion per year is generated from that place. 10 trillion, guys, it's enough to pay our debt, to back in an extra, tukitaka kila mtu ende Dubai, we can go all over the world. 10 trillion just from blue economy only. Tujeka hata mambo ya SGR, tujeka hata mambo ya ndege. Hata hiyo tuna can revive our KQ that is ever recording losses. So brothers and sisters, I want us to that Jesus Christ needed Judas is Otero has done it so good. I'm waiting that tukasirike sa kama the remaining 11 disciples that we shall revive Kenya for once and for all.
Yes, I am here. I've had it. There was a bill which was sponsored by Gideon Moi when he was a senator. Very well thought out bill on data. When it was in the Senate and it was going on, a group in the National Assembly quickly drafted a parallel bill, passed it, and sent it to the president, and it was ascended to the law. Despite the fact that county assemblies are also data players and the bill should have gone to the Senate, it never went. So there's a bill that's the current bill that's being implemented with the Commission of Data and what have you. It was really used to take away from what the Constitution has. Claw back from what the Constitution has given. And that's why they're even going as far as saying that the KRA could simply pick data from anywhere and use it the way they want. Under the KRA Act, still there are provisions that are
Hello, Sen.
So I was saying the data issues have a long history whereby there were two bills in Parliament, one in the Senate, the original one. Then a counter bill was introduced in the National Assembly, which was rushed. What asked him to speak about on the bills, whistleblower protection bill. There are two bills in Parliament. One lapsed, I don't know if it has been revived, was the whistleblower protection bill of 2021, which was in the National Assembly as Gazette published in a special Gazette supplement number 198. It was the National Assembly Bills number 50 of 2021. It is since lapsed. We have a new bill that is now in the Senate called the Whistleblower Protection Bill 2023. Kenya Gazette.
We've lost you again, Senator. Senator, can you hear us?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Can anybody?
I can hear you clearly.
Oh, okay. You keep being muted.
And yet I keep on hearing you. There's something interfering. I don't know what it is.
There is some interference that is coming through.
Yeah, so the bills are there and it's being considered in the Senate. Now that I'm on the bill, let me also address the other issue of there was this bill, conflict of interest bill, which has generated a lot of heat. Now, the good thing about this bill is that it is not yet passed. It came from the National Assembly. The Senate made the amendments that have generated the heat. It's now going to mediation. When we were in the Senate last week, there has been a change of heart from the majority side.
Can you give us some highlights of the things that were contentious in that one? That is the one that is generating a lot of public interest, I think.
I think that the main thing that became very contentious is the fact that you can now allow somebody who is in a public office. The most contentious one is that you can now allow somebody who is in a public office to trade with his own organization. It watered down the concept of a conflict of interest. But I think there's of interest to really not have any teeth. People just do what they want. All you need to, so there are no, that's basically what is in contention mainly. But as we are telling the majority leader that since he accepted that he had been misused and he had forced bad through the Senate bad laws, we wanted him to give us a list of all those laws where he was forced to do that so that we can recall them and fix them. That's the mood in the Senate right now. So there's hope at the end of the tunnel. Just like somebody has said, maybe we needed to hit rock bottom with Zakayo before you could realize that we need to take care of this country ourselves. There are amendments to Acts of Parliament, which were carried out by the last Parliament, mainly before election. And see which will hold. So the question of the education levels in elective offices. One as a educational requirement that the Constitution imposes to run for public office. You'll find that an 18-year-old most likely has only a Form 4 certificate. So you might find that when you now impose a requirement for a degree, then you are going back to the old law whereby you had to be 25 years to offer yourself as an MP. You are returning that the law within through the back door. That was among the arguments that convinced the courts to strike down this requirement. As her name has disappeared again. I think she was able to have that requirement struck out. Is controlled by the Parliamentary Service Commission. So what do you say to this? So at the end of the day, I end up using what is in my head and You need a civil service that can back you up so that you just become a mouthpiece. So you are a person who can speak from officer, staffed on the basis of merit and the requirement of merit and the requirement of the office, so that when you are doing your legislative work, for an ignoramus voting in an educated fellow. So maybe education should be a campaign flow thing, so that when you go to the constituency to campaign, you show how students and their networks to be able to comply with the requirements, even using some complaining about, but liberate the political party space. Let it not be necessary that you have 1,000 members in each constituency. You are running 24 offices. What happened is that the way the other case had been framed, it quashed the act that was be able to support country. Doesn't have to say that he has missed out because he did not have money, he did not have whatever, the parents were poor. No. It's a lifeline they have. When they get CDF, they this particular fund. If you take into account the amount of money
And I believe the fees was like 35,000, but we were getting help, and so option.
I think
Help us unpack that for
then before Kenagop, I think he borrowed the concept in India and brought it here. It was an attempt at devolution. Budgets were being done in terms of whether you voted for a government or did not vote for a government. So the CDF concept was a good one, and where of accountability in Parliament, and that's
reason I was asking, Senator,
yeah.
was because, say for example, when did it change? Well, what projects was it supposed to do, and how did they change it? And then, for example, if you say that money goes to the Ministry of Education, okay,
the ministry and the PSN go to implement these projects in Nambale based they can get you out of the
I
community.
see.
So
Okay.
they have got puppets who do that. A stupid thing that was being given to university students. It was a recognition that some students came from bad. It was a recognition that some students came from bad. Be given back the boom so that they can concentrate on their studies. Because so much. Yet we need these people in the field. So we need so we must build a human resource that it can go and conquer the world, like the Indians are doing across the world, with their human resource conquering the world. And we also prepare our homeland. We also prepare our homeland to be accommodative, to be a home that gives us the basic form of existence. We don't have to be going to be laborers and housemaids and whatever in other countries. If we have to export labor, we export labor that goes in to go and manage. There was a ruling of the Supreme Court in a case filed by the Kenya Vision 2030, where so if they cannot make recommendations to Parliament, then there are toothless bulldogs. So we need to look at the office of the Ombudsman and give it the power that such offices have in other countries. And then give it also to people who have got convictions, not people who have failed elections. People have got convictions and who can implement. Given the power of the High Court, and they could make. So,
Wow, how many more do you still have so that I'd like to admit.
A few to go. Let me run through them quickly. Repayment of net debt. We simply looked at with some experts who are good in audit, in a. And with a balance sheet showing that the CBK had repaid the debt in excess.
Tata,
Yes.
Senator. Yes, it is.
Anybody else on the speaker panel? Are you hearing Senator clearly? Because for me, I'm
At 1.3 trillion shillings, which means central bank has been releasing. And know where has this money been going? That has been taken from the central bank for the be integrated so that when you register, when with an ID. Yes. Yes. Hello? Has a role for dead people. So that if we integrated these databases, we will find a running, we should be able to have there's need for very serious legislation, including maybe some slight amendment to is generated by immigration or the registration of persons, and use it to be continuously updating its own databases, and if that could fulfill the requirement for continuous registration of voters,
Senator, while you're on that point, someone I think had asked you, is it possible to go and register at a Huduma Center? I would add, is IEBC currently doing continuous registration? Because sorry, Senator, are you speaking? Who has something to ask, Senator, as we wait for him to reconnect? I can see him.
even though the continuous registration is still going on? And the answer is that lost on that, and I think the registration takes place at
But maybe we should also hear from Kenyans in.
Thank you. After
Karibia mic.
them they are attributing their win to party. Like wengi wanasema ingekuwa CUD.
Go ahead.
So the thing as we all this discussion tunafaa kukam na strategy hii kitu haita happen tena, na kenye nafikiria ni independent candidates. I guess hao watakuwa more affiliated to people like to sisi wenye tumewapigia kura more than partyism or something of that sort. Na nilikuwa nataka kuuliza, can president be independent, na akikuwa independent how will that happen on kupitisha things kwa parliament ama membership? Yeah, partyism juu nasikia president should win with 50+1 and some majority MPs in parliament. How can that happen? I guess that is the best thing can happen to Kenyans. Independent.
All right. So can the president be
Independent candidate, like are you affiliated with any party, like is independent?
Sawa sawa. And in fact, Senator, maybe you can tell us after registering your party, is it the party that sponsored you to be independent, or did you go at it alone? Is it KL or KI?
Yes. Thank you. It's KI. Is anyone hearing me?
Tunakusikia, bro. Go ahead.
All right. So this is the first time I'm talking these spaces. So first of all, I want to.
Karibu.
So first of all, nataka niambie senator anafaa he should take his devices like the phone and laptop to be checked for bugs. That's a suggestion. And then yeah, and then you have to realize that if these other parties, the involved parties, if they realize that you are a favorite, even at the moment, I'm sure they know you are a favorite candidate at the moment. I'm sure they are looking for ways to discredit you and to shut you down. So you have to be careful. Another thing is there was that lady. I saw a video, a clip of a lady mwenye alikuwa anasema steam panda and how to include young people in this political era. So and she was talking about how campaigners are expensive and all sorts of political issues. And the first thing that came to mind was I think we need to educate people on how to choose leaders, because if people knew how to make good choices, they wouldn't go for those who give handouts and those who corrupt other people to ensure that they are voted in. So if people knew how to choose the leaders, they wouldn't necessarily have to go for those people who come with money. So I think that's the first thing we should do. Civic education. Wherever you are, wherever you stay, you ensure that you educate people. Another thing is that for integrating the databases for IBC and national digitization. I think that's very possible, because even when you are applying for, let's say, HELB or NTSA, there are those you realize that the system already knows your details. Those systems, they already know that you have a KRA pin, and they just update your credentials. So I think it's possible. It's possible to integrate those systems to register you as a voter once you get an ID. so that when you just go and vote, you are a voter. I think there's also another thing about the IBC database, where you when someone goes to register, you find that someone else has already registered with your ID, and they always find a way to still register you. So I don't get how they justify that, because that means there is a duplicate voter with your ID. But I think with the integration of those databases, I think that issue will be fixed. Now, the question that I have for Senator is, do these private entities in our country, let's say the Safaricom or any other private entity, do these people approach candidates, for example, as an MP or as a senator? Do they approach you for offering to fund your campaign so that you go and protect their interests once you are elected? That's the question. And I would also, if the case is if it's yes, I think those people who want to vie for any elected position in the coming years, if they are here, they should take that to account and know how to deal with that. Thank you.
Good.
Sorry, Senator.
Can
Go
I
ahead.
ask the admin to enable me on Yasuke?
Okay. Yeah, just request, and we will bring you up. Krashi, go ahead. Just mute yourself here, Senator Okia, so that Krashi can go.
I've already requested, because this my other line is interfered with too much.
Yeah, we understand. We understand. Just mute yourself on this one, and we will bring you up on the other one. Krashi, go ahead. Mike ni yako.
Okay, good afternoon. I hope mnanisikia. So,
Sorry,
okay.
yes, tunakusikia. Go ahead.
Mine, I don't know if it's a question or an opinion, but firstly, ningependa kuuliza CS kama ni very relevant, because to be honest, I don't see the use of the MP, the MCA and the women rep, because if hizi pesa zenye wanalipwa ukihesabu, we have 290 constituencies, yeah. Approximately, I'm not sure what the MP wanalipwa, but tuseme they are being paid 300,000. Ukimultiply na the 290 constituencies, hiyo ni pesa mingi. Kiti ya women rep pia ni ya kusatisfy the 2/3 or whatever. So in the real sense, hakuna kitu yenye women rep anafanya. If we were to be honest, wanawake, the voters wanawake ndio wengi. And if these women would have really wanted to vote for their own women, wange vote. So we can also say ni women hawataki kuvote for their own women. Because ukiangalia the governor Kirinyaga woman, governor Kitui ni mwanamke pia. Governor Nakuru